I told you when you listen to some of these alien meditations or whatever, or actually even some of them that just kind of have that deep or binaural beats, it brings in dark entities, man. Brings in the dark aliens. Cause see, I was listening to this last night for a few minutes, cause I'm trying to rewire my brain. Well, I mean, like listen to it. It sounds dark, you know what I mean? But it sounds cool, but it brings in dark entities. But it is pretty. It is pretty cool because it has, you know, that cool beat to it. But I didn't listen to it very long, but just for a few minutes or whatever. And yeah, because I gotta try to rewire my brain, so then multiple chemical allergies will go away. But yeah, but so I was listening to that. Oh yeah, and another thing, I went into Walmart and I'm like, weird, why does the energy feel so different? And then I didn't even notice till I was gonna check out my stuff. Well, I noticed immediately it looked like I didn't really glance over to the left, but I noticed immediately that it looked like they took away a bunch of food, you know, that used to be up, you know, like near all the cashiers, because it felt weird and different and more empty and crap. And yeah, but it's weird. It just felt, you know, different, the energy. And all they did was they did remove a bunch of that stuff. You know, some of the food items and stuff up at the front of each aisle or whatever, of each cashier, because now they just took out all of them and they just put in a bunch of self checkouts with a bunch of different or bigger, you know, entryways, and you know, for the self checkout. And then they even made you know, like bigger areas where you put the food down and everything. But I immediately, when I walked in, I'm like, okay, why does it feel different? You know what I mean? Well, I knew they were gonna do that, but I didn't know when they were gonna do it. But that's so stupid. People are gonna lift shit like crazy, you know. I mean, it wouldn't be hard, but I mean, like I wouldn't walk out of there with, you know, 48-inch TV or anything, which I wouldn't want anything that big anyway. That's retarded. But yeah, so yeah, that was kind of weird. But I'm loving it though. I'm loving doing my own self checkout. It's kind of fun. Yeah. So anyway, so I was listening to that meditation last night, or just for a few minutes, because I was listening to a bunch of the other ones too. And lo and behold, it brought in some kind of dark alien or whatever. Because I went to bed and it probably happened about 3 or 4 a.m. this experience, because I woke up at 5 a.m. and couldn't get back to sleep. So it happened between like 3 and 4 a.m. And yeah, so I went to bed, and I don't remember having any other, I mean, I probably did, but I don't remember having any other dreams or anything. But this was more like, I guess you could say, you know, OBE VR lucid dream. And but it was so bizarre. I mean, okay, so I was in, and it almost seemed like an elementary school. I mean, I know it was a school, but it did not seem like a high school. It did not seem like a junior high school. I know it was elementary school because it totally seemed like an elementary school. Well, yeah, duh, it was an elementary school. Well, duh, because that would make sense because of that, because there were that one little kid that looked about 9 years old. Yeah, duh. I mean, I don't specifically remember, you know, the alien telling me, oh, okay, you're in a elementary school, but somehow I just knew I was in a big O elementary school. But it was big. It was bigger than like a normal elementary school. It's pretty big, and it's like me and just tons of, I'm trying to remember if my mom or sister was in it. Shit. No, they weren't in it, as far as I remember. But, so, okay, it was just me and just tons of other people and a bunch of adult people, too. It wasn't just little kids. There were a bunch of little kids, like elementary school kids. But there was just as many amount of adults. And, like, my mom and sister could have been in it. Shit, I can't remember. But anyway, so it's like we were being trapped. It's like, I don't know, whoever, the alien didn't really tell me. It was like the government or whoever was trapping us inside the elementary school. Yeah, so anyway, we were walking around, and we were trapped, basically. You know, we couldn't get out. Because we were being held, and the alien didn't program it to where I knew why we were being held in the elementary school. But somehow I knew it was the elementary school. Even though I don't necessarily, you know, I mean, I just kind of knew it was elementary school. Yeah, so I said that all wrong. I already knew it was elementary school. And but the alien didn't tell me what the name of it was, but it was elementary school. And but it was big. And we were just being held there, and we were walking around, like tons of adult people, tons of elementary school kids, and finally, I was trying to figure out how to get out of there. And then, I mean, it was like so bizarre. But yeah, a demon definitely gave me this experience. All because I listened to that meditation music. So yeah, so what happened next? And we were in that school for a long time. You know, walking around, talking and crap. Talking to each other, and eventually I decided I'm going to try to get out of here. And finally, well, like one time, okay, so everybody started kind of walking fast all of a sudden down the halls and stuff, and I didn't know why at first. Like everybody started kind of rushing and walking fast, and trying, you know, like down the halls. And I didn't really know why at first, and then I started walking to my left, like way down the halls. I started walking way down the halls, and then all of a sudden, I see this the boy was about like 9 or 10 years old. The boy was like snatched up by this demon monster. And the demon monster didn't show me his face, but he was snatched up. And then I saw two big, thick, kind of like where he was dragged. He was dragged down the hallway and taken by this big demon monster. Well, see, apparently the other bunch of the other students and adults, they somehow figured it out that something was going on before I did. And then when I figured it out, like, why are these people running and walking fast? That's when I went to my left and started walking down the hallway. And that's when I turned backwards and started running the other way. But a demon monster had snatched up this little kid. And there was like blood marks on the, you know, on the floor, which seemed to be not concrete, but like tile. Like, not concrete tile, but that other weird plastic tile. And it's like there was two streaks of like blood, like, I don't know, like 9 inches wide. 2 streaks of blood. You know, where it's like the demon had dragged the boy down, you know, the opposite direction or whatever. And so oh yeah, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So, but this other part was so weird. Like, the demon monster actually put, you know, a music theme to it as I was trying to, like, kind of, as I was walking real fast towards the, you know, to what I saw as I was walking fast, you know, towards, like, down the hall, like, you know, because I was trying to figure out why are they running the opposite direction. And then all of a sudden, after I saw the streaks of blood, then it's like, well, I think it started even before I started running backwards and running back the other way, away from the blood streaks, because I realized the demon monster had dragged him off. And I kind of, as far as I remember, I kind of I didn't actually see the demon like drag the boy, and I didn't actually see the boy. It's like it already happened. But I saw the blood streaks, and I knew the demon had dragged him off. And then, like, all of a sudden, as I started running back, well, like I said, actually the music started a little before that. And as I started running back the other direction, or walking fast back towards the other direction, away from the blood streaks, then the demon started playing this theme, this music, just like boom, 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 just similar. I know he was trying to copy exactly off it because it sounded similar to this beat right here. So he was trying to copy off of this beat. And this same beat right here. Yeah, like that same beat. See that boom boom? But I can't say that it was exactly like that, but it was very similar. I want to say it was a little faster. It was a little faster as I started running the other direction. I can't say that it was exactly like that, but it was very similar. But I don't have bizarre experiences like this very often. Only when I listen to this kind of bullcrap, meditation CDs or whatever. But okay, and then as I started, ow, I'm getting a cramp in my foot. Ow. Okay, so then as I started like running fast and walking fast the other direction away from the blood streaks, then that's when I knew I really had to try to get the hell out of here. And that's when it's so weird. Then I went into this it almost seemed like a phone booth, but it wasn't a phone booth. It was as big as a phone booth. This is so weird, man. How come sometimes I'm talking about these experiences and this other, I don't know, because like I say, I probably did have some other dreams, and it's trying to seep in through right now, and I'm trying to remember it, and I can't remember it. Like these other lucid dreams try to seep in, and I know it was like another lucid dream that I just can't remember that I had over the night that's trying to seep in right now as I'm trying to talk about this experience. It's so weird. So I kind of ran into this little, it was about as big as a phone booth. And it was all see-through. I can't remember if it was glass or if it was some kind of plexiglass. It almost seemed like it was plexiglass. And so it was like as big as a phone booth. I ran into this little room. But like I said, it wasn't really a room. It was just as big as a little phone booth. And it seemed like plexiglass, and it was all see-through. It was totally see-through, all clear and transparent and see-through. And I closed the door, and it was also plastic and see-through and everything, and I'm like, crap, this isn't gonna save me. So I got the hell, I closed the door because I'm like, okay, maybe this will save me, and then I'm like, what the hell? So I opened the door and got the hell out of there, and then that's when I ran out of the school. And I was able to get out of the school, but that was just kind of funny. Like, why would I think that was gonna save me? Running into this little compartment that was like a phone booth with plexiglass, see-through, But yeah, this experience was so bizarre. And like I said, I don't normally have bizarre experiences like this, but it's all because of that music right there. So weird. It's amazing. I mean, because, okay, so that music right there, it has some kind of imprints on it, some kind of already dark alien imprints on it, already attached to that video or that music, and then when you listen to it, they get attached to you. It's so weird. But I mean, it wasn't like, but the demons, I mean, they're just not even nearly, I mean, the demons that give me experiences, they're not even nearly as, not even a tenth of as bad as what's running this dimension or whatever, and running fucking Hollywood, you know what I mean? But still, I mean, like that was, I mean, it wasn't really gory at all. It was just 2 blood streaks. They don't give me real gory shit. When if they did something like that, then I would know a really bad one got to my dream state or whatever. But yeah, it was so bizarre because, like I said, I normally don't have real bizarre experiences like this. But the other, and that was this morning. That experience was this morning, and then it was yesterday morning I had this other awesome OBE VR lucid dream. And I was, okay, it's like the aliens placed me at work, except I was at like a banquet and they cleared out all the cubicles and all that, and they just put in a bunch of like little couches and sofas and stuff and tables. And there was a big old, now in real life we do have like a kitchen type of thing way down in the back of the building. It's not really a kitchen, but it's a break room, but it has a refrigerator and I mean, it looks like a little kitchen, sort of, but you know, it's a break room, but it has a refrigerator and a microwave and stuff like that. But in the scenario, this was like a true small kitchen that was in the front of totally in the opposite direction in the scenario. Yeah, it was totally in the opposite direction instead of in the way back of the building. And so, it was just this whole TAC office, you know, it was in the scenario, the whole TAC office, Taxpayer Assistance Center. And it was just that whole area was in my scenario, and that's where I was placed in. But like I say, the kitchen was just, I mean, this was a kitchen. This wasn't a break room, but it was just like right there, and like in front of, well, actually in back of the TAC office. But because when I go into work, the kitchen was just right there in the scenario. But in real life, when I go into work, the kitchen is way in the back, you know, in the exam area. But anyway. So there was a kitchen in my little area and a bunch of tables. It's like we were having a big banquet or some kind of retirement party. Actually, that's what it seemed like. Some kind of retirement party. And, but in the scenario, there were no cubicles. The aliens, you know, cleared out all the cubicles and all that. And also it was like, it wasn't completely flat. There were a couple areas it was kind of, that whole area in my scenario was kind of multi-level, like because there were a couple areas where you like, you know, step down 2 or 3 steps or whatever, you know, it wasn't completely flat. And man, they placed me, they gave me experiences, like, I mean, so many times, like, you know, at that at that building. But in my scenario, sometimes it's like, oh my god, it's so, when you wake up, it's like, wow, that was just so different, even though you know exactly where they placed you. But it was such like being in another dimension. Like several years ago, I didn't, this was probably in 2010 or 11, I think. And so I wasn't doing videos back then, but they gave me this experience before where I was like in the back of the building, out in the yard, basically in the back of the building. But it was just so like awesome and so different. It's like there was big mounds of dirt and I was just like, I don't know, I was playing on the mounds of dirt and stuff, and it was like such a blast, so weird. And then after you wake up, you're like, wow, I mean, like, how could that be such a blast? It's so weird. But that never did make it to video because you know, I that was like in 2010 or 2011. But anyway, yeah, so in this scenario, so I was at a banquet basically in my, you know, in my workspace, and I was walking around and my mom was there, and let's see, some familiar people like were there. There were some men and some women, and they all seemed kind of older, like 60s or 50s or whatever. And I walked around a long time, and I did have a lot of conversations with people. And then I remember walking into the kitchen several times and watching people kind of make, you know, like make the refreshments and stuff. And this is so funny. Then I walked back out of the kitchen, and then I saw some tables. I looked down at the tables, and there were these donuts, and I was like, okay, get these out of my way. And then I kind of scooted them out of my way. These donuts. The aliens copied that because this guy used to bring in donuts all the time. But now I can't eat donuts. So in the scenario, you know, so the aliens always copy that from my true reality. So in the scenario, I looked down at the donuts. I mean, they look really good, but I was just kind of scooting them out of my way and stuff because I knew I couldn't eat them. And there were some other parts too. I was actually sitting down on some of the sofas, and I was having long conversations with these people and stuff, and asking like, when are you going to retire and blah 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 blah. But okay, here's the other awesome part. and this was kind of bizarre, but this other awesome part, all of a sudden, I was walking around towards, well, it was, I know what the aliens were trying to copy off. They were trying to copy off of the door that goes out of the TAC, that hallway right there. They were trying to copy off of that. And all of a sudden, I saw all these people, employees, started walking, you know, back down that hallway right there. And all of a sudden, I started kind of walking down that way. And you're not going to believe this, but this was funny. But they had all those big, thick virtual reality goggles on. I know the aliens must have copied that, you know, from, you know, because I've seen those before. You know, those little virtual, you know, recently, like on YouTube or whatever. And several months ago or whatever. You know, those, you could buy those games or whatever. Well, it's like a game, like, well, not really a game, it's just this virtual reality equipment, and you put this big old thick thing. Well, they weren't goggles, but it was this big old thick black thing, you know, on their forehead. But it was just like the virtual reality, like, goggles. And I'm like, why do you guys have all those things on? It was, I don't know, it was like 8 or 9 people, you know, employees started walking down the hallway with those big old virtual reality things on their head. And then I'm like, why do you have, I was like, why do you guys, I asked one of the employees, like, why do you have those on your head? And they're like, well, we're getting ready to go to a meeting, and we got to have these for the meeting. And anyway, so in the scenario, I'm trying to think if I thought that was weird or not. I think I did. Even in the scenario, I was thinking that was kind of strange. But, because sometimes I remember, you know, how the feelings were and stuff that I felt in the scenario. But yeah, as far as I remember, I was thinking, okay, well, that's weird or whatever. But anyway, so that was like so weird. It's like these goggles right here. Well, I guess they're kind of like a game. Not really a game, I don't think. I think you just watch things. Or maybe they are games. I don't know. I've never put one on my head. But they were black. They weren't white. This one is like white and black. Here, let's see. Virtual reality, goggles, pictures. Yeah, like these big old things. It's so hilarious. Yeah, like this right here. Virtual reality. Yeah, like those. It was so hilarious, but they weren't like smiling like that. But yeah, that was like bizarre, man. Okay, I guess I better shut the video off. But yeah, those were some weird experiences. I mean, not this one, but the one before that. Okay, well, thanks for listening.